Information is power.
And comprehensive report. We appreciate it. Jesse Ventura is the former governor of the state of Minnesota. He's also a former U.S. Navy SEAL, a man who's never been afraid to speak his mind when it comes to the U.S. government and some of its actions overseas. And he's kind enough to share some of his time with us tonight. Governor, thanks so much for joining us as usual. And I guess we just have to start with your reaction when you learned the news today that Assange had been arrested both by the Brits and I guess eventually to be extradited to the United States.
Well, I kind of figured, Rick, that it was going to happen eventually. You know, things like this always turn out generally for the worse. What upsets me the most about this is, what did WikiLeaks reveal? They revealed war crimes, and yet no one in this country, and we've been at war for 20 years now almost, of straight war in multiple countries, and not one person has been charged with a war crime. When WikiLeaks showed war crimes happening. You know, I view Julian Assange as a hero, personally, because he's a person that exposes the government, and the government doesn't want you to know the truth, and they will do anything. And I'll tell you what, if they prosecute this guy, journalism and news as we know it and the First Amendment will never be the same again.
You make a great point because, you know, even I remember my own teachings at the University of Minnesota from Dr. Donald Gilmore at the School of Journalism, who said the journalist's first defense whenever he's charged with any crime is truth. And if we can prove, or if Julian Assange can prove that everything that he reported was actually true, it may make the government's case against him somewhat more thin, correct?
Well, and look at other things too, Rick. Yes, that's true. Look at John Carrico of the CIA. He's the guy that exposed the torture, and yet he went to prison. Not the people who tortured. They get off scot-free, just like WikiLeaks and Bradley Manning, or Chelsea Manning now, when they showed the murderous from the helicopter shooting people, murdering innocent civilians. Those are war crimes, and yet nobody's been prosecuted. And we do have two big war criminals, George Bush and Dick Cheney, because they advocated for torture, and torture is a war crime.
What do you say to people who say, how can you say that, Governor Ventura, given the fact that you wore a uniform and served your country? How can you say things like that?
How can I say that? Because it's the truth. That's as simple as it is. Excuse me, these are war crimes. Torture is a war crime, Rick. I've been waterboarded. I know what it's like. I got it in SEER school. It is torture. And you're talking to a former competitive swimmer, a former member of underwater demolition SEAL team who deals in water all the time. It is torture. No doubt about it. And Cheney and Bush advocated for it. They rubber stamped it. And all the rest of this garbage in these wars, that we will not look hard at what we're doing and what our country is turning into today.
Is there any question in your mind, and we're down to 22nd, that he will in fact be extradited from the Brits over to the United States? Or do you think they'll hold off?
Oh, he absolutely will be. Absolutely he'll be here. And I hope this country comes out in mass protest when he does arrive here for a trial that he will not get a fair one in this country anyway.
The one and only Jesse Ventura, former governor of the great state of Minnesota, which is my adopted state, by the way. We thank you, Governor.
Information is power.